Do you know your cost per mile? Have you been hitting your profit margins? Do you struggle with bidding in a way that is both profitable and competitive? Would it be worth it to have all this information right in front of you? By calculating your cost per mile, AccuBid Pro helps you stay profitable in an industry still struggling to recover. In order to calculate your cost per mile, AccuBid Pro asks you questions about your business expenses. Our goal is to help you understand what you need to keep operating in order to keep up with the game and maintain your business. Enter your origin and destination, and we show you what you should bid based on your personal cost per mile in order to be profitable, even including a more detailed breakdown of each bid. Download the app today and get your 30-day free trial of AccuBid Pro, available on the App Store and Google Play. Bid smarter, bid faster, bid better with AccuBid Pro.
supposed to be. That's the way it's supposed to be, but we're on 2 and 3. They're doing a little bit of tech work here. Brokers should be putting the actual carrier's name as the carrier on the BOL, but we have seen many times where the broker lists himself as the carrier, and that is okay. And if the broker asks you to check in under the broker's name, that is usually also okay. But if you're ABC Trucking and the broker tells you to check in as XYZ Trucking, there is probably an issue. You might want to look into that.
Yes, that's a big red flag.
Huge. If the rate confirmation that you get lacks detail, that is another big one. I've seen really bad rate confirmations where there was only an address and a rate.
Yeah, those one-liners. One-liners are not good.
There's always going to be a lot of legalese involved in rate confirmation. If you're not seeing any fine print in there, there may be a problem, guys. If the broker is really aggressive, now I don't see this as much in this day and age, but early in double brokering, the scammers want to make sure that they are communicating constantly with the real broker and the real carrier to make sure that data is getting passed through very easily.
Yes.
I can't read that. Oh boy, okay, all right. So apparently our audio was messed up for the first 10 minutes. For those who don't know, this is Jimmy Durden. He is with AccuBit Pro and our sponsor. Apparently we had some fun with technical difficulties.
Hey, we're the guinea pigs. Yeah. It's okay.
I told the Lounge Media Group that we're okay being the guinea pigs. So here we are.
Y'all can laugh at us. It's all right. No big deal.
You know, if you ever have any issues, just contact Hunter over at the Logistics Lounge. Blame him, and we're good to go.
That's right.
It's all Hunter's fault.
Everything's Hunter's fault.
Everything is Hunter's fault. If Pedro has ever taught us anything, it's always Hunter's fault. So yeah, if the broker gets aggressive in how things are handled, or they're being super communicative, they want updates every 2 seconds, etc., there might be a problem. Again, what they're trying to do is they're trying to be that bridge in communication. Because what they don't want is they don't want the real broker to know who the real carrier is. So they're going to keep that mask up, that fog up in between the two, and they're going to try to be that conduit for communication.
Now, catch what the bounty hunter said right there. Over communication. Like this guy's reaching out like every 5-10 minutes. I mean, an actual broker, if he's never used you before, he's probably going to reach out a couple times for some updates just because communication is the key. He's never used you. You've never used him. You got to get to know each other.
Yeah, but when the guy sits there and says, hey, let us know as soon as you arrive. And then he says, let us know when you check in. Yeah. And then he says, let us know as soon as they start loading. Yeah. Let us know when they're done loading. Let us know when you get your paper. Guys, that is just absolutely insane. That is usually a sign of a bad issue.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
Okay, if the broker is demanding a copy of the BOL at both pickup and delivery. Now, we're all used to sending over a POD or a proof of delivery, which is the BOL after it's been signed and delivered. That's standard. But to do it at the start, only a few brokers actually ask for that. And if they're asking for it, you might want to think. Because what the scammers are doing is they're taking the original BOL that you're getting from the shipper, and they are more than likely, if you catch on to the fact that you're being scammed, they're going to forge a receiver signature so they get paid for the load and you don't.
Because let's be honest, most signatures you can't read anyway.
Ain't that the truth?
So they're going to get away with it.
You know, one of the things that I always recommend to every carrier that's out there, have a color rubber stamp for your drivers to sign on. What that does, one, you have the color. Okay, so it's not going to be easy to duplicate or whatnot, especially if you like do a photocopy or something. And then once you have the stamp on there, it's going to have the carrier's MC number, the carrier name, and the driver's name on there. And once you have that information on there and the scammer sees you have it on there, it's going to be very hard to hide who the real carrier actually is.
That's pretty accurate. I mean, that's a pretty good trick there. I haven't heard that one.
Oh, yeah. No, I recommend it to all my carriers. I only have one of my carriers actually does it, but I do recommend it to all.
All you can do is recommend.
You do what you got to do.
That's all you can do.
You do what you got to do. Another one is if the broker lacks knowledge in U.S. geography. Now, I actually had when I first started dispatching, I had a scammer we knew he was a scammer,
Right.
but that's neither here nor there. I was picking up in Boston and going to Chicago.
Okay.
He seriously thought that it only took 4 hours to go from Boston to Chicago. And that's what, 800 miles?
Somewhere in that
Okay,
neighborhood.
so if you had a Formula One racer, you still couldn't make it in that time frame. He wanted same-day delivery.
You were on the bullet train.
The bullet train.
The bullet train.
Had to do it on the bullet.
He
Okay.
was not a scammer. You were transporting it wrong.
Oh, okay. That was
Come
completely
on,
my fault.
John.
Yeah, that's why I made $4 a mile when I got with the real broker later.
That's right.
So that's okay. So if they don't know their geography, I mean, granted, I don't know where some towns are in certain states.
That's what Google Maps is for, baby.
Oh, there you go.
I'm
There
just
you go.
saying.
Okay, so if English is not the native language of the broker, there might be an issue. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm perfectly cool with immigration. We know there are plenty of international people who work in this business legitimately. But if you hear a foreign accent, whether you're a broker or you're a carrier, you hear a foreign accent, I would at least look into it just a little bit more to make sure that you're on the right road.
That's when you get back into dig into the broker as much as you can. You know, if your factoring company's saying no, or if he has no credit rating on the load board you're using, or you're getting blowback when you look them up on the FMCSA. Put all these things together. It's a puzzle, but you'll come up with the right answer.
And I know carriers are real busy. They're usually trying to do this out of their truck, and all they want to do is get their next load so they can get paid
moving.
and move on.
Yep.
Guys, you have to take the time to look at what you're doing. You really do. Also, take a good look at the rate itself. What we're seeing today is really wacky rates when loads are being double brokered. Now, most people who've been in this industry for a while, you know that if you see 30% above market rate on a load, it is most likely a scam. Regardless of who's listed as the broker, they're probably being impersonated. So I use a 20% rule. If it's 20% above or below market rate, then I usually do a lot more digging into the individual that I'm doing business with. Now, if you are a broker or a shipper, there's a whole other set of stuff you want to be watching for. First off, Crossroads Services. You want to stay as far away from Crossroads Services as a factoring company as you possibly can, because these guys are the financial arm of Go Rigs that we talked about before, that 99% scammers right there. This financial arm is trying to get your broker information and will try to impersonate you as well.
Did you guys hear that the scammer has a financial arm? You know how bad that is?
You know,
they have access to money.
Oh, and it's a lot of money. It's a lot.
That's mind blowing. I mean, I got to go through like 4 steps to log into my bank account on my phone, and the scammers can pretend to be a factoring company and get paid.
It's absolutely insane. You know, guys, these scammers are well organized, well financed, and they know exactly what they're doing and how they're doing it. In fact, they watch shows like this because they want to know what we know to try to beat the tricks that we're going to try to teach you. So we don't give you all of our tricks. You need to call us to get all the tricks. That's neither here nor there. If they have a new or recent MCS 150, one of the big issues these days where carriers being impersonated. So what most people don't know is back in March of 2023, DOT had a data breach. Now, that is public. What is not public is the fact that DOT PIN numbers were compromised as a result of that data breach. And those DOT PIN numbers are for sale on the dark web. So if you have a PIN number that's older than March 2023, you need to get a hold of FMCSA and you need to get a new PIN number like yesterday, because that's how they're pirating your information in safer.
That's
to scare the crap out of you or what?
Yeah, that's insane. When you work so hard to build up a brand and yourself and be good in the business and honest, and to hear stuff like that and it can be gone, snap your fingers. I mean, people won't work with you if you get a bad reputation. It's just that simple.
Now, one of the things that we did over at Stop the Scam is we have worked very hard to establish good connections with FMCSA. So if you ever wind up in a situation where your information is pirated by a scammer, you can reach out to us and we can get you in touch with the right people at FMCSA to get your information fixed lickety split, so you don't have to go through all the federal red tape and whatnot. We've got some connections that can help speed things up a lot. So don't hesitate to reach out to us when you have a problem, because the minute you find out you've had a problem, that problem's been there for at least 24 hours and you have at least 100 loads double brokered in your name. So don't waste time looking for help. If there's an active double brokering report in carrier 411, then you probably want to stop and look at it twice. Now, I have seen so many times, I would say at least 10% of the reports on carrier 411 are false, exaggerated, or something along those lines.
I would agree with that. A lot of it is blown out of proportion. It could just been a bad experience. I don't think you should freight guard everyone for a bad experience. That's just me personally, because it happens.
Mm-hmm. Now, DNUing a carrier over a bad experience, that's okay. And that's DNU
okay.
is do not use.
That's inside the company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's me just saying, okay, I'm not using Joe's Trucking anymore because of such and such. That's not me telling the world, don't use Joe's Trucking.
It doesn't destroy Joe's Trucking's relationship with the rest of the industry.
Bad days happen, breakdowns happen, shit happens.
Absolutely. Hey, this is logistics. Of course shit happens.
Every day.
Logistics should be called shit happens.
I agree with that.
But that's neither here nor there. Okay, if there's no contact with dispatch once you book the load, that is another huge sign. It's not just a sign that your load's probably being double brokered. It's also a sign that your load's probably getting stolen.
Yep.
Okay, so make sure you keep communication as tight as you possibly can. Because as soon as they go dark, bye-bye cargo.
It's gone.
And you're not getting it back. I'm sorry. Yeah, there are definitely services out there that try to help you hunt down cargo. You can put trackers in with your cargo, and those help. They help. The problem, I'm sorry to say, is getting law enforcement to take cargo theft more seriously. And that is something that the Freight Fraud Task Force is working on very diligently right now, trying to get law enforcement to buy into a lot of the freight fraud issues that exist. So hopefully we'll get better response from law enforcement when cargo gets stolen. But in the meantime, hold on to your butts, folks.
That's right.
If the tracking fails, again, guaranteed, your cargo's getting stolen, guys. There ain't no two ways about that. Another one is if you've been a well-established broker, such as Jimmy here, and they're asking for quick pay. Well, Jimmy, you're factorable by just about every factoring company there is.
I am.
So why in God's name would somebody need quick pay?
In reality, most brokers will do quick pay for a lesser rate than the factoring company.
I am seeing that.
Yes, I am charging you a rate because I'm not your bank. So I'm going to keep a little bitty fee for myself. Factoring is going to be 5 to 3%. You get a little bit back once they get paid. I'm already under that, and you don't have to wait.
Well, that's a nice selling feature.
But the other side of that is if you're a new carrier, it's hard to get a factoring company to take you all the time. They don't just sign up everybody.
They do their own due diligence.
They do their due diligence. So, it's got a benefit for me to pay you with quick pay. It is a gamble, but price of doing business.
Yeah, I've heard many people sit there and say, if you're a gambler, the best job for you is being a broker.
That would be 100% accurate.
It's like shooting craps.
That's right.
All your eggs in one basket with every load.
Every load.
So what I've got here, folks, is I've got a bunch of screenshots of both fraudulent and good loads that are out there on the load boards. Most people are operating on DAT. It's the most popular load board that's out there. So I'm using DAT as an example. Right. So what I've got on the screen right now is, in fact, I'm going to blow this up and take us off here. So all y'all are seeing is the posting. So what we're seeing here is Minneapolis to Elk River, Minnesota, 32 miles, posted for $2,500.
I'll take it.
I'll take it every day of the week. Every day of the week.
Who do I call?
So is this a scam or is this real?
It's a scam.
It's a scam. Okay. So why is it a scam?
the rate alone tells me it's a scam without reading into the load. I mean, no one's paying that kind of money to go 32 miles.
Ain't that the freaking truth?
I don't care if that's hazmat. It's not paying that.
Yeah, so the rate is absolutely not realistic. It could be $3 a mile, and I would still stop and think twice.
For that short of a run, yes.
But it is what it is. The other one here is look at those comments in there. The comments in there have an email address calling superprojectinc.com. Now, we happen to know that Super Project Inc. is one of the major scam rings that are out there. If you ever see that domain as an email address for a broker, folks, promise you, every day it is a scam. Don't even think about talking to these guys because all they want is your information. They're going to have you haul a load. They won't pay you for it. Then they're going to have your information to be able to double broker other loads for the future. So stay away from those guys. So let's go ahead and move on to the next example. This is Chicago to Hawthorne, Nevada. $3,200 for 1,900 miles. What do you think of this one?
It's a decent rate. I mean, I don't think it's abstract.
I think it's a little on the low side, but is it more than 20% lower than I'd be looking for? I would normally look for about $2 a mile in something like this, and it's a little below that. It's around $164. It's not that bad.
In today's market, I mean, it's probably around average.
Mm-hmm. Now, they've got some qualifying remarks here in the bottom. It looks like it's a military load. You got to be U.S. citizen, clean background, etc. But it is absolutely a legitimate posting.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it for that rate after reading those comments.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a military load. You're going to have ID. You can't have felonies because you're going on a base.
Mm-hmm. I would want at least 36 or better on
right.
It's probably closer to 38.
You would want to negotiate that up. But, yes, it's legal.
Yeah. Okay, so here's some rate confirmations that I got out there because rate confirmation, as we said before, can be a good sign or a bad sign. We have right here Brock Transportation. Anything you see with this that might be out of the norm. We got some contact information for Adam Dozard. That's an interesting name if you ask me. Carriers, Delta Logistics. And, oh, by the way, all the carriers who have these have given us permission to put these up here. So in case you ask.
I mean, at first glance, for me, I don't see anything wrong with it. Go ahead. Let's see what you got.
Okay. It is definitely bad. Here's a few reasons for it here. Take a look at the font on the pro number. It is different than the rest of the font at the top of the page. That's one sign already. The second one is if you dig into Brock Transportation, brockweb.net is not their domain.
Wow.
So that is a guaranteed scam right there. One of the other things that I also look for, especially in this particular rate confirmation, you see a 4-character alphanumeric for both the shipper and the receiver. A 4-character alphanumeric usually indicates it is an Amazon load. So if you're running Amazon, if you're not using the Relay app, then it is a scam. Somebody is using the Relay app, and whoever's using that Relay app is going to get paid for that load. And you as the carrier, you're not going to get paid.
See, everybody can learn something new. You just taught me a bunch of stuff right there. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Dude, there is so much stuff out there to watch for. And only somebody who understands the stuff and is trained to look for it is going to catch it. Your average carrier is going to miss this every time, which is why we do these series so that you guys can learn what more to look for to help protect yourself and to keep you from having to call and enlist the services of somebody like me. Okay, Candor Expedite has a rate confirmation here. Basic stuff. We got the broker's contact information. It's power-only load. Got it right there. What do you think? Is it decent or not? Any tricks on there, you think?
I mean, it looks decent to me, other than it has a Gmail address, which I'm not the big fan of Gmail addresses, but it doesn't mean it's fake. They're so easy to produce.
As a dispatcher, I operate almost exclusively on the spot market. So I would say about 75% of the loads I book are going to come off of a load.
Right.
And if I have seen a Gmail email address for a broker, you better believe I'm questioning it every freaking time. I know of only 2 brokers that I verified that use a Gmail email address. Only 2. And there's some, 60,000 brokers in existence right now?
Oh, yeah.
So, guys, if you see a Gmail email address, you better be questioning the hell out of it. Here's another one, J&I Logistics. There's a lot of detail on this particular rate confirmation.
Yes, there is.
That's a good thing to see. I like seeing good information, but there could also be a scam here. You never know. Hotshot load, $400. Not particularly a long distance. Nice and light, nice and small. What do you think? Good or bad?
I mean, I think it's good.
It is. It actually is. This one here is actually something one of my carriers hauled, and we did really good with that one. LDI, Logistics Dynamics. That's a pretty decent sized name for a broker. Most people know these guys.
I do.
What do you think of this rate confirmation here?
I'm from a quick glance. I mean, it looks okay.
Okay, well, it's not. There's a couple big issues here. Again, we have a different font for the pro number. Okay, so that's one sign. That email address is also the giveaway. LogisticsDynamicsInc.com is not their domain. It's listed. It's LogisticDynamics.com, I believe. But that ink in there is definitely not in their domain. This is also, again, another one of those Amazon loads. There's that 4-character alphanumeric for the shipper and the receiver. So automatically, this is definitely a bad guy. You're not going to get paid, so watch yourselves, carriers. Verification is the key. Brokers are going to do it to carriers all day long. Carriers, you need to learn to verify your brokers. The brokers are using stuff like Safe, My Carrier Portal, MCP, RMIS, Highway, Freight Validate, etc. All these different platforms exist for a reason. They exist to help deal with the fraud in the industry, and that's why the brokers use them. And they spend a lot of money on these platforms. Okay, so you need, as a carrier, to spend at least your time to verify the brokers that you're doing business with. So carriers, once you get that rate confirmation, if it's a medium-sized broker or a large-sized broker, you need to contact the corporate office for that brokerage. You can look it up on DAT, go into the directory, and they'll give you the corporate phone number. Contact the corporate phone number, ask them to verify the load number and the lane. If they're able to verify that for you, you can even double check to make sure that you're listed as the carrier of record for that load with them. Correct. And then you know that you are safe. You know that load's good. Now, if you're dealing with a small broker, like Mr. Jimmy here, he doesn't exactly have a corporate office who verifies that stuff.
I'm the corporate office.
He is the corporate office.
I'm the corporate office.
But if you book the load with Mr. Jimmy here himself, are you going to call Mr. Jimmy to see if he's real?
I would. I am a small brokerage, but I do have a couple agents, and I get calls all the time. Hey, does Luis work for you?
Well, in that case, absolutely.
And I say, yes, he does. We go from there. But yes, you call me.
If they're running an agent model, absolutely.
So,
but if you're the one who actually gives them the load, then it might be a different story.
Hey, you never know.
What you can do is you're not violating your agreement with the broker by asking the shipper, hey, what freight broker are you guys working through? It is okay to ask that question. Whatever you do, though, don't talk money.
There you go.
Because now you're getting into back solicitation, and that's
a
one of
no-no.
the cardinal sins of this industry. You do not want to be accused of back solicitation.
Yeah, that's
folks.
a no-no.
So we talk a lot about double brokering. I'm out here talking about it every Thursday. We do our live show every Monday afternoon, 1 p.m. Central Time. So if you ever have any issues, all you have to do is hit me up. I am not hard to find. Contact me, jcantera, vigilanttransport.com. Hit my website. Whatever you need to do to contact me. Get help. If you even think that you're being scammed, whether you're a broker or you're a carrier, we have resources that can help you determine what's going on and then what direction you need to go in order to get things taken care of. So do not hesitate to get help. Next week, we're going to have part 4 in our series. We're going to be talking about how to recover from having your ID impersonated. So we'll be getting into that. Again, you get into a situation, all you do is reach out to me. But Jimmy, you and I are going to be hanging out here for getting us up on stage here. Wow, man, I'll tell you, that using this control panel can sometimes be a pain.
Technology.
Technology is a pain. There we go.
Hey,
okay,
that's us.
Finally got us back on here. We have the other groups, other part of the of the Lounge Media Group who are going to be doing their podcast today. Again, we have Freight Movement, who's allowing us to use their equipment. They're going to be going live in about 20 minutes, so check them out. And we also have the Logistics Lounge going live 3:45 Eastern Time as well. So please make sure you like and subscribe to all of us. We would definitely appreciate it. In the meantime, folks, take care of yourselves, and whatever you do, don't let scammers take you for a ride. We'll catch you next time.